Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It's Charlie Fibrosis, and I wanted to do a little video on this and just kind of go through some stuff and something I wanted to kind of show. Um, so, if you guys watched my stream, which by the way, I do apologize for screaming, um, I'm just gonna say it. I apologize for screaming fuck as loudly as I could in anger and frustration at the end of the lights race. Um, Heat of the moment. And I really thought that we could be able to get something going there. But to kind of talk about this is I figured out a couple of things, and something I kind of wanted to do, and something I've been doing for a while now. Unfortunately, there are kind of gaps in terms of data acquisition because some of the stuff has actually gotten deleted over time. Some leagues no longer have their open setups or not setups, but statistics available at hand anymore. So I went ahead and started doing statistics gathering kind of on my own. So I have a sheet here, or a document at least, and this is my NR2003 stats and facts. So I've raced in IORL, which is what we initially started off in. This was the IndyCar division. We ran in Southern Comfort before it merged into and eventually becoming the ERL Winston Cup Series, and then eventually spun off into what is now the IMRC Winston Cup Series. We've got ERL, which did race and then shut down actually just a couple of years ago. We used to race occasionally with Bomb Squad Racing. We ran in Insomniac Racing Club. We ran in Draft Masters. We ran NASCAR Ship Posting. And we have run in what is now known as International Motor Racing Club. I don't know that that's correct, actually. But it's IMRC. IMRC is active and IBOS is active. Which is one that I actually forgot to add in. I don't know why I didn't add that. So I went ahead and was honest with myself, and I put down my favorite tracks. I love Talladega. I love Daytona. I like Indianapolis. I like Eldora. I like Sonoma. I like Watkins Glen. I like Michigan. I should probably throw in Kentucky too because I do like that track, honestly. Least favorites: Darlington, Bristol, Martinsville, and something about Charlotte just really throws me into a loop. And that makes it very difficult. I think it's a more narrow racetrack in general, so you take the same design and line and kind of follow the same thing that you do with, places like Atlanta, but it's a much thinner racetrack by comparison. So some of my favorite highlights: we finished 4th at Texas Motor Speedway in the IORL IndyCar Light Series, where we made our debut on August 26th of 2016. It was around this time that I did start getting into online racing as it is. And I think that series finished up its final year that same year. Or maybe the very next year, and that was the end of it. They moved on to iRacing. Finished 3rd at Michigan in the IORL IndyCar Lights division on October 27th of 2016. Winning the World 100 at Eldora, which was an ERL event, just a few days after getting out of the hospital on August 5th of 2017. That is actually very true. Led 8 laps at Pocono in race 1 of the Armor Playoffs on April 21st, 2018. And that is actually, I don't know why I don't have Pocono as a favorite track of mine, but I think it's only because it's a specific version of Pocono that I really do like. I don't know why I haven't put a couple other events here, because there are some that are kind of coming to my mind a little bit. But the last one is won the LCQ in IBOS at Michigan, breaking a 715-day winless streak and qualifying for the chase, which we have now all the way made it into the second to final elimination format Final Four. I get to race in at Homestead, I think. If we manage to make it, we will make it into the Final Four, and that'll be something. Championships and runner-ups. There's actually one that I think I need to add here, even though that I was so pissed off when it happened. We won the 2017 Southern Comfort GN55 Season 1 event, which was only one season actually. We finished second in the ERL Superspeedway Cup Series for Season 2, and we finished second in my own series, the ERL Winston Cup 1998 Series Season 1. And then we'll go on to wins real quick. Win number 1, April 20th of 2017, Southern Comfort GN55 at Daytona Beach, the Daytona Beach Oval Course. Second win, as mentioned earlier, August 5th of 2017, ERL Dirt Late Models at Eldora Speedway. Win number 3, which is probably one of my favorites, honestly, is the either my favorite or second favorite, to be honest. On November 27th of 2017 in Studio Speed Super Speedway series, I won at Pensacola Super Speedway 1999, and I'll explain why that one is probably by far my favorite. While winning the ERL Dirt Late Models was definitely a favorite of mine, what made that race in particular so special to me was two things. One, my brother, who actually, as of that date, it was around his birthday, he was stationed in Pensacola to get his training to be ready for the Navy. And the other part of it is that was when I was still recovering from my ankle surgery. I had my surgery done in September, so I was still in, I think by that point I was at least in an air cast, but I could not use my right foot and right ankle to apply the throttle at all. It was too unbearably painful to even try to do that, or it was just too uncomfortable. So for it being a super speedway race, I had to use my left foot for throttle and brake. And not only that, we dominated that race. We didn't have, I chose not to have any sponsorship for that race, which is the goofy thing. Which actually, that is slightly incorrect in my numbers. It's not the 8, it's the 81. But yeah, like, the way that everything went, yeah, I went out and I dominated the thing and won in my very first start in that series. Next up, February 20th of 2018, the ERL Winston Cup 98 Series at Talladega Superspeedway, won there. March 3rd of 2018, won in the ERL Superspeedway Series at Talladega, which was the final race of ERL. They never got another season going after that. They called it quits. So I won the final race of that series, and Will Goss, my good friend, who I met at Kentucky last year, and I think I did a video on Kentucky and shared some pictures. Will won the championship, so that was really, really special. I'll say that maybe the paint scheme was not the best because I didn't understand what the importance of turning off the mask on a car was, but it was a memorable moment. And then just earlier this year, February 15th of 2020, NNSCRA Icebreakers Cup Series won the last chance qualifier at Michigan International Speedway, which, by the way, it just felt like it was a super speedway all the same. Maybe a little bit off on the off on the throttle in certain corners, but you could win it. So I do have listed the wins. We won in a Plymouth with the 42 car. Wanted to race the 43, but the 43 was not running in 1955, so we ran Lee Petty's car that season. The 11 Quaker State Dirt Late Model based off of Steve Kinzer. That was win number 2 with the Dirt Late Models. Studio Speed with the number 81 unsponsored Chevy. The ERL Winston Cup 98. We were sponsored by AC Delco, and we were driving the number 8, which was a custom car. Won that event. And then the final 2 races, the paints, actually it's right there. This is the paint scheme that was run and won in the ERL Super Speedway Cup Series. I may have to swap that out ahead. And then, yeah. And then we ran and won in the 2015 scheme at Dale Earnhardt Jr. with Nationwide 88. Manufacturers raced with, we've run with Chevrolet, we've run with Ford, we've run with Honda. Personally, I'm more of a Chevy guy, but that is what it is. And then preferred numbers, IndyCar, I like to run the 4, I like to run the 8, and I like to run the 83. NASCAR, I like to run the 8, the 12, the 21, the 43, the 81, the 88, and then the 11, strictly for dirt. I'm a big Steve Kinser fan. So, with all that being said, I do want to show this off. So, this here is a chart. There's a race 0 only because there are occasionally some preseason events that happen, like in IMRC Cup, which was the Ram Ranch race, which we finished 11th in. Almost got the win there, but wrecked it up on going down the back straightaway. So, it does count as a finishing position, but it's also a non-points race, so it doesn't really matter that much. But we go back through here. If there are any gaps here, like IMRC Super Speedway, it was because I took a Provo or I didn't race it. Simple as that. So we look here in anything that's red, the season concluded, it's over, and we can be able to see how we did. Now, this is not all series. Like I said, some stuff I've recorded, and I do have archives of it. Other stuff I haven't. Other stuff, I just don't have the TGAs, or not the TGAs, but the exports anymore. So they've been lost to time. I do not know what series I've run in some cases too. But here it is. So IMRC SS, which is nothing but super speedways, we got a best finish of 3rd in race 7. For IMRC Cup Season 6, this is before the big hiatus, we got a best finish of 7th in race 2. Very surprising there. IMRC Lights, we got a best finish of 6th, twice in race 1 and race 4. Interesting. IMRC Season 7. Not a great year, but we ended up with a best finish of 9th. IMRC Winston Cup, which is the current season, our best finish is 8th. That was at Kentucky, I think. No. Kentucky we finished 12th. That was Atlanta, now that I think about it. Yeah, we got a best 12th of 8, best finish of 8th at Atlanta. IBOS, which is the current series. And I did not mean to do that. There we go. Best finish of 1st, but in the regular season, we got a best finish of 3rd due to there was a big penalty. The leaders got dropped, so it moved us from 5th to 3rd. IMRC Light Season 2, which is the current season that we are in. We have a best finish of 4th at Talladega, I'm sorry. All things considered, I'm actually kind of disappointed because we have had a trend downward and we have not been able to score within the top 5 since then. And it really pisses me off to a certain extent, especially on the plate tracks. So, and then finally for IMRC Winston Cup, which is in its 1st season, we have a best finish of 6th at race 2, which was Rockingham, just over 2 weeks ago. And we'll be headed to Fontana tomorrow on Friday the 27th. So then I want to show off this. This is a chart to see what this line graph looks like. We have it color coded and everything like that. Goal is to hit this line here to mark 1st place. But you can see all the statistical trend data here. The numbers have been shifting obviously as we run more races. But I just want to point this out, especially in certain cases when fields have grown. The target that I tend to keep hitting more often than not, you look at kind of season 7. We're darting at about, unless something goes wrong, with I think 21st was Pocono, and I don't know what happened in race 16. I think that was Homestead. Something happened, I guess. Statistically, we've been trending to hit within the top 10, typically most races that we run, with a few outliers, either due to accidents or something else going on. Uh, and it's kind of interesting all the same. Now, most of these leagues do typically have only about maybe 12 to 14 drivers, but there have also been races where we've had as high as 17 to 20, 30 people. And the fact that we can be able to get good finishes like that, especially like Studio Speed, for example, when we ran that race, that was a massive field. So yeah, we can be able to see the chart here. Race 20 is typically when most leagues go ahead and finish their season. They don't run a full 36 races. I do need to go ahead and create another chart here coming up, because I do plan on racing the NASCAR Brazil Series, and we'll hopefully get some good data from that. I might go ahead and just jump that in there. NASCAR Brazil Season 1. And that'll be starting around April 4th, I believe. So be sure to check out then. But we'll go ahead and pull up the chart one more time. You guys can look here. By far, our worst finish in all of the statistical data was 21st. But yeah, when you look at the numbers, I've been trending within the top 10 more than I have been trending outside of the top 10. So there's growth. Let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. No, my numbers were a little bit off. I was looking in the wrong spot. I would say that we're floating either within the top 10, typically like around 11th or so, depending on how many cars are running. But yeah, I just started taking data of all of this and just started kind of getting interested in it. So I think I would have to change like one little thing in regards to here, because I'll have to be able to get the Brazil Series counted for as well. But yeah, that's statistical trending data and a little bit of history in regards to me running NR. So hope you guys enjoyed. There'll be more races obviously ahead. Hopefully things swing a little bit better where it's getting more within the top 5, I'm hoping. Or at least scoring 8th place. I mean, 8th place scores good points no matter what. But the biggest thing that I'm usually pretty good about, unless I've taken a Provo, is I'm generally really good about making sure that I make starts. And that's usually why I'm still in the hunt for seasons, and usually higher in the points than I normally would do, is I just make sure to show up and race. So, alright guys, that's it, and I'll see you again next time.